Yes, it's that time. Episode 44, the Best of Rivals podcast. I'm Jordan J. Will. Got my boy D Bev on the side of me. We just watched the Derby.
Yep.
Um, 6-3 City. We'll get there. We'll get there. Crazy game, crazy game.
Great game. Great game to watch, especially if you were neutral. Like 9 goals. Incredible.
Right,
So,
exactly. But before that, we had a couple games, as you guys know, the season's back again after, the break and postponing of games. But Arsenal beat Spurs 3-1.
yeah,
We talked about that
convincingly.
one.
Convincingly.
Where do they fall in your standings now? Are they going to be a top 4 team? Top 2?
Arsenal?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they proved, this whole weekend kind of proved a lot of things to me with all the games. But
Yeah.
Arsenal proved that they're the real deal. I don't care what anyone says. And Tottenham also proved that they're not the real deal. I think it was both ways. Man, just like the dominance that Arsenal, they're in the first spot for a reason, bro. We're kind of disrespecting them. Can they really do it? Arteta's a real deal. Arsenal's the real deal. Jesus is the real deal. Saliba's the real deal. Odegaard's the real deal. Thomas Partey, like I said last podcast, is the real deal.
How'd it go?
These are legitimate players. I'm not even mentioning Saka. I'm not even mentioning Martinelli. Xhaka had a great game.
How'd it go as well?
Zinchenko, Tierney.
It's like you're just going down the line. They have players now.
They have players,
Yeah.
bro. They have a real team and a manager who's put the puzzle pieces together. Now, contrast that with a team like Chelsea. All the talent, all the money spent, but the pieces don't fit. This is the difference between those two teams, for example. Now let's go to Tottenham. You have to look at Antonio Conte, bro. No Basuma, no Jed Spence, yet again. Emerson Royale has been arguably the worst player in the Premier League this season. Arguably. The last game, gets sent off. Where is Jed Spence? He spent 19 million pounds on this guy. Play him. He's not injured. He's on the bench every game. Play him. You could also put Perisic on the right and play Sessegnon on the left. Play these guys, bro. On top of that, your back five isn't important if they suck. Like, his formation's off. His player management's off. Basuma is one of the best holding midfielders in the league. You're not playing him. There's just so many questions I have with Conte, bro.
Well,
so many.
I agree with everything you're saying. I think Conte is living off the hype of getting Chelsea that title.
And Inter. You got Inter a title.
Yeah, but I'm talking strictly Prem right now,
Okay.
I was never big on him. When they had the whole Tuchel Conte debate, thought Conte was overrated as hell. Tottenham is going to be a top 4 team. They definitely will be.
Yeah.
But they won't challenge for the title. They might make some noise, have a few games where they're, stringing along, but I don't see it with them. And this game clearly showed it.
I agree. I agree 100% with everything you're saying. I think they have enough to be a top 4 team. They have enough to beat the not so great teams.
Yeah.
But they're not going to challenge.
No.
They're not real.
No, they're not real. And Arsenal, shouts to them. Big game, the derby between.
Real quick, are Arsenal going to challenge for a title? Or is it just Man City or have already won it in September, October?
The only way Arsenal challenges for a title, and no disrespect to the Gunners, no disrespect. You guys have been balling. I give it to you. But this is Man City's title to lose. So we always said that, Man City's biggest opponent is themselves.
Yep.
So if they go on a run where, they're losing games, Arsenal can make up some ground.
Yeah.
And they're number 1 right now. So it's crazy. It's like they're chasing City, even though they're number 1.
Yep.
I
I think everybody knows that too.
Everyone knows it. So it's hard to say, bro, because City right now is just on a roll.
Yeah.
They look like the best club in the world, easily.
Yeah.
Holland scoring goals out, bro. Like, come on.
And, people talk about it doesn't do a lot of touches. His impact in the game isn't great. We saw it today, bro. 2 assists as well. His movement in the box is disgusting. It's ridiculous. He's in the right place at the right time every time. You would think, and this is just so interesting. You would think on a new team there would be time to gel. You know, how can he play with Foden? How can he play with Grealish? How can he play with De Bruyne? Since day one, they've been on the same page. Maybe not with Foden, but with everyone else, he's been on the same page, bro.
Yeah.
14 goals, 8 games.
And, to touch on something really quickly, I think that's, what's putting City at a different level than Arsenal right now. Don't get me wrong. Both teams are talented, right? We can go back and forth naming players. But Arsenal doesn't have a Haaland. So even though Jesus has been, a top 3 player, probably in the Premier League, top 5 player in the Premier League.
I wouldn't go that far. But top 10 for sure.
He's been really good,
He's
right?
been good.
But he also isn't a for sure goal scorer.
He's not a prolific goal scorer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to separate him, bro.
You see a lot of times Jesus drifts off to the left as well.
Yep.
Or he drops deep.
Exactly.
Haaland, for the most part, is operating in a certain area
Exactly.
the entire 90 minutes.
Yep. He knows his role.
Yep.
I feel like with Arsenal, they don't have they had a Aubameyang at one point.
Yeah.
They don't have that anymore.
Yeah. But even with Aubameyang, they played him on the left as well.
Yeah.
Like an out-and-out striker. Do Arsenal have that? Is Jesus going to be the guy? That's the question mark.
Right. That's the question. I think that's what we're moving forward with Arsenal.
Yeah.
They're checking off every box.
So yep.
But do they have that prolific goal scorer? Is it because this is what City. This is their problem the last 3 or 4 years. They had everything but that guy.
And you're saying problem,
Right?
Because we had a false 9, yet we still scored the most goals in the league.
Yep.
2 years in a row.
Yep.
So, but now we've solved that problem, meaning we just changed the way we're playing.
Exactly.
So,
another team you mentioned, Chelsea.
Yeah.
They responded. They won as well.
But responded is let's use that term loosely.
Yes and no. I think they're in a very weird position right now. They're trying to find their identity again. Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah.
So getting W's is
that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Exactly. Where do they fall in the standings?
Well, what Liverpool and Chelsea proved to me this weekend, even though Chelsea won, they're not. They are a shell of themselves. They are the talent that Chelsea has.
Yeah.
The potential will never be reached until Graham Potter has at least 2 transfer windows to rotate this, to change the squad, to update the squad. Now you might be like, well, Daniel, they just spent $300 million.
Right.
On what? On nothing. Directionless transfer window. I think Graham Potter needs a real chance to manipulate the squad, bro, because nothing fits. Nothing looks
so let me
together.
Ask you, if you're Graham Potter, what is your first move at Chelsea? What are you doing?
We have to get rid of a lot of players, right? You have to because what we just saw, I mean, it's tough because he's going in a position where like $75 million for Fofana. He's
right.
got to play him over Koulibaly. Koulibaly's probably like, yo, what the hell's going on? I'm on the bench now? Ridiculous. I would have taken Koulibaly for sure this summer.
Yeah.
You look at the whole left back situation. He spent so much money on Cucurella. You have to play him, even though Chilwell is a really good offensive left back.
But I will say, from what I've seen from Cucurella, he's been surprisingly
They're good players.
Decent. Yeah.
They're good players, but you have to question. Managers have to do with happiness and morale, and Chilwell's not going to be there for long if Cucurella is playing over him constantly. And again, only because of the price tag. Remember, Cucurella's a Brighton player. He was a Brighton player. Chilwell has to go.
Yeah.
He has to go. So you sell a player like him, maybe get 30, 40 mil. You have to look at the midfield. Jorginho, I mean, we've talked about it. Extremely overrated. He does a lot of things poorly. And when you play a guy like Jorginho, you have to play somebody next to him.
Yeah.
And Conte's injured all the time. So you play, is it Loftus-Cheek? Is it Conor Gallagher? And then where does...
But look at who you're naming right now. Loftus-Cheek, Gallagher. Is that, or are those players that can elevate or help out Jorginho?
Well, this is the question, right? Maybe the midfield needs a whole new revamp, right? And then you look a little bit forward. You look at Mount, they're forcing him to play every game.
Yeah.
Havertz, they're forcing him to play every game.
Who
So where does
has
Sterling
been
go?
really good, I will say. He has.
Havertz has had a couple good games in a row, including the Germany game.
Right. Yep.
But it's tough to be like, okay, he's the guy going forward. Aubameyang had a really good goal. Is he the guy?
Absolutely not.
What about Sterling? Is he the guy? Is he the solution?
That might be their best, I guess, solution. But is that a solution? Because we know how Sterling is.
Yeah.
He's not a prolific goal scorer. He can
Sterling-
score goals.
If Sterling's the best player in your team, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble. Yes, exactly.
You're in trouble.
And I think you said, if I'm not mistaken, you think he's the best player on Chelsea right now, correct?
Just overall.
Yeah, overall.
He's the most important player for Chelsea because without him, they don't create.
Yeah.
They don't create anything. They don't have a really good creative midfielder. If you look at Havertz, he's like a hybrid. He's a hybrid false 9, number 10. It's again, the pieces don't fit.
Yeah.
If he revamps the squad, gets 2 transfer windows in, okay, different story. But right now, Chelsea will not be a top 4 team, no question. They will be outside the top 4, no question.
You feel confident about that?
I would bet. If I had a lot of money, I would bet a lot of money that Chelsea would be outside top 4. The other team that will not be out in the top 4, Liverpool, bro.
Woo!
I know. Listen, at the start of the season is one thing. When you see enough games, I've seen it already. I've seen it. This is a team that is mentally checked out. Mentally checked out. They've peaked. It's over. This Liverpool dynasty, it is over.
Oh, I agree with that. And I'm so happy it's over. But it's done.
I'm happy it's over too. I've hated playing against them, but I think once we play them, we'll know it's over.
Yes, right. That's why I'm hesitant to say it's over for them in terms of this season, or not making the top 4 at least, because they haven't played City yet. So that to me will tell a lot if they're mentally checked out, because they always pretty much step up for City.
Yeah. That's always a tough game. And sure, they beat us in the Community Shield if you care about that. But I personally think it's done. I don't think it's anyone's fault. I think these are just natural things that happen between teams. I think human beings are human beings, and
No.
No. Here's the thing, Jay. When you're 2 games away from a quadruple, and then you end up getting the 2 least important trophies, that's a mental drain, Jay. That's a long season of great performance after great performance after great performance just to come up short. Now, cool. In my opinion, it's still a great season for Liverpool. But from their perspective, bro, like, how does Klopp be like, okay, go again? That's tough. It's tough on anybody, bro. All I'm gonna say is, as a result of their situation, I just think they're done. Van Dijk doesn't look himself. So much questions about Trent. The midfield doesn't look right. Nunes is a waste of money. Mane is gone. Robertson, he's been forgettable. Allison's keeping him in it, bro.
My question is, though.
Hold on, real quick. When did Liverpool give up 3 goals so easily? They didn't do this last season.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think you're giving them, an out when you shouldn't. We've always said that Klopp, the one thing about him, he has a system.
Yeah.
And his players know it. This season, there's no system.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's major. That is major to me. So I don't think it's they're mentally checked out. There's a bigger problem over there.
Okay.
And I told you, I really do believe this. Mane leaving, bro, that killed him.
I think I agree with that. I think that has a part to play. I don't want to blame it all on that because, again, I think then we'd be giving him out again.
Yeah.
But I do agree that on the pitch, maybe there's something off the pitch where, like, Mane was the guy.
He was the guy, bro. I thought he was the most important player for Liverpool. Yeah. I said that at one point. And I think, like what's killing him, you just said, Nunes is a flop. You're bringing him on at, the 83rd minute or something like that?
89th minute. Like, bro, let's just be honest about Nunes, bro. He's a flop. He's a, people telling me, like, he's going to compete with Haaland. People telling me, give him time. Sure, give him time. I'm not worried. He will not score 8 goals this Premier League season. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
And that's what it is, bro. I think he was brought in to somehow maybe match what Mane did.
Yes.
And he's not doing it.
Which by the way, I thought Mane wasn't going to be a big loss because of that, because Diego Jota, because of Luis Diaz, because of Salah. I guess, maybe it was Origi leaving. Maybe Origi leaving was the problem. But yeah, I think Liverpool is 100% out of the top 4 by the end of the season, obviously.
Now,
which means I think your team's in. I think your team is in.
Let's go to it right now.
Let's go to it.
I mean, you see why I got my jersey on, right? Let's talk about it.
The Juan Mata jersey?
Juan Mata, the magician.
Yeah.
Free
agent, by the way. Should we pick him up?
With this game, I'm going to start here first.
Yeah.
We talked about it. And to me, this determines the game beforehand, period. You're going into the derby, big game against, your rival.
Yeah.
You got McTominay starting the CDM.
Which we expected. I mean, based on Ten Hag's history in terms of the last few games. We thought Casemiro was going to come in and start.
But there's levels, right?
Yeah.
McTominay is not on a level of competing against City at all.
We said that when they were playing against Arsenal.
So I think what you do is you put Casemiro in there. I know I haven't been big on the guy, but watching that game, he came in, he struggled. We clearly saw that he's not, in shape yet, right? Something I said.
Yeah.
But the intelligence, the skill, it's way different than McTominay. And you saw it as the game progressed.
Yep.
He's defending. He's making balls, passing the ball, doing things that McTominay wouldn't even think of.
He's seeing things that McTominay doesn't see. He's moving the way McTominay doesn't move. Bro, this is why I said at the start of the season, even when the Casemiro transfer happened, I said, you spent $60 million on Casemiro, you could have got Romeo for $10 million at Southampton. It's the same player with the same amount of impact. You might be like, oh my God, Casemiro's got 25 Champions League titles and all this crap.
But that's such a bad argument.
Exactly, because Man U didn't need that.
Right.
Man U needed an actual CDM.
Yep.
McTominay isn't playing bad because he sucks. People could say he sucks, sure. He's playing bad because he's playing CDM and he's not a CDM. He doesn't know how to play the position. So when you see Casemiro come in, Casemiro, all things considered, had a bad game.
Yeah. Yep.
But he's so much better than McTominay in the CDM role.
Yep.
Because he knows how to drop into spaces. He knows how to show. He knows how to create triangles. He knows where the pass should go. He knows all of that. So the question is, does Casemiro now start the next upcoming games?
I think so. At this point, you have to.
You
have to. You put him in, and you see what he can do. Scott's giving us the same thing every game.
Every game. Even in the games where he's played well, he's still not a CDM. How many touches did he have today? Your CDM is supposed to have arguably the most touches on the pitch.
That and the guy wasn't even pressing. There was multiple times in the game we're watching, he's jogging back. City, the midfield was just, they're all type of time.
Yep. And
I might get something to eat.
Yep.
I wonder what my friend's doing. Like, they just have time to think, bro. And the guy's jogging back. He's not marking his man.
You saw how many times McTominay was in front of the ball instead of behind the ball when you're defending. McTominay's chasing the ball.
Yeah.
You're a CDM.
Bro, real talk. I think the best bet for Scott, if he wants to stay on United, convert that guy to a center back. Have him.
You know what's so funny? Because as funny as that is, and he's probably going to be a terrible center back, but is he much worse than Lindelof? Lindelof came in and he showed that, yeah, he needs to go.
Well, see, and this is why I put a lot of this blame on Ten Hag with this game.
Okay.
His decision-making in terms of the lineup, subs, was terrible. You got Lindelof coming in, who hasn't played at all, really.
Hasn't played at all.
And it's really not his fault because Varane got hurt, right?
Yeah.
But then you take off Sancho to put on Fred. Sancho's probably your best player. You should have started Martial over Rashford.
If they're both healthy or both not healthy, why are you playing Rashford over Martial?
Well, I told you. Rashford just won Premier League Player of the Month.
Yep.
So it's like, I got to give it to him. I know what the higher-ups were saying. Yo, you got to play Rashford.
Yep.
You got to do it. But you clearly see Martial was not in shape at all.
Yeah.
The guy got 2 goals.
When we say 2 goals, he won the penalty.
He won a penalty.
It's not like he just took the penalty.
Right.
He won the penalty.
Great shot.
Yep.
Upper right corner.
Oh, phenomenal penalty.
And then obviously credit to Fred for creating the goal, and then Martial with the header. But I think Casemiro, Martial definitely starting if healthy for the remainder of the season.
Okay. Let's talk about next game though. We're saying if healthy.
Right.
What happens if they don't start next game? What are we saying about Ten Hag? If he doesn't start Martial over Rashford after he scored 2 goals, and if he doesn't start Casemiro over McTominay after McTominay had one of the worst games I've ever seen, a CDM potentially have.
I just wonder what's the end goal.
Yeah.
Like if Scott starts again, I really got to go to Manchester and have a sit down with Eric and be like, bro,
what do you see in him that like we're watching the game and we know he can't play CDM? Like, what are you telling him, bro? Like, what are you watching that's good from Scott McTominay? And I'm not even trying to pick on him. Yeah, effort, exactly. and another question about Ten Hag, Ronaldo. You're telling me that Rashford injured or partially injured. You're telling me Martial partially injured. You're telling me that Ronaldo's part of your plans? Okay.
I mean,
it's over. It's over.
It was sad seeing my guy on the bench.
He was sad on the bench.
He looked really sad, upset, pissed, and I get it. But at the same time, it's like this wasn't Ten Hag's guy.
Yeah.
So the board, the people in charge, they put him in a really bad position because you have arguably the greatest player of all time on your team, but you clearly don't have him in your plans.
Yeah.
But you can't come out and say it blatantly. You can't say it.
Well, he said the opposite.
He said the opposite. We definitely do have plans for Ronaldo.
It's so much. Don't. Yeah, I think the sooner he goes, the better for Man U, and that's sad because he was the best player on the team last year.
Yep.
So it's just a really awkward situation. But again, it's not Rashford or Martial starting over Ronaldo when they're healthy. It's they haven't trained and they're playing over him.
Yeah.
If you're Ronaldo, bro, you're like, bro, January cannot come soon enough. The World Cup cannot come soon enough. Or maybe Ronaldo's putting on the front. Maybe he's the best actor in the world. Maybe he said, yo, Ten Hag, do not play me. I do not want to get injured. I want to play in the World Cup.
I definitely think there's something deeper to this.
Yeah, I think so too.
We talked about it. There could be a secret agreement that, Ronaldo's established with United. I'm out by January.
Yep.
I also like that point you just brought up because I mentioned it before. I think he's eyeing a major tournament, trophies for a major tournament with Portugal.
Yep.
That's what's on his mind right now. So, he is 37, 38 at that point now where he has to really save himself and his energy and his health for meaningful games.
Yeah.
This shit means nothing to him right now.
I agree.
So why like you said, why would I come in? I told you, he probably Ten Hag probably was like, yo, you want to go? No, I'm good.
Yep.
Like, nah. I'm not buying in.
Yeah, there's no interest for him anymore.
Yeah.
It's not like Man U are going to win anything this season. Potentially the Europa League. Potentially.
Yeah. But saying all that, the worst player on that pitch, and I want him off my team, my club.
I want him out the Premier League.
I can't stand him. I've stood on this hill since he got here. I didn't give a fuck, pardon my language, about what he did when he played with us. Bruno Fernandes is terrible. The guy is selfish. He complains too much. He isn't the captain. He wants to be Ronaldo, but he's not. He was bad. I can't name one positive from that game from him. And it's a big game.
I remember he put in a really good cross that Cancelo, remember when he threw his foot up?
Oh, yeah, and then Pep was like,
yeah.
You shut up. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was the only thing.
Only thing.
But
this happens way too much with him in big games.
It's people talked about when he was playing well, they were like, well, can he do it in big games? He's not even playing well in any game. Bro, he is one of the worst football minds
easily
of all time.
So here we go, bro. Basketball analogy again.
Yep.
You look at Russell Westbrook. The guy's a triple-double machine. But if you understand the game of basketball, you clearly see that he's not a good basketball player. The same goes for Bruno Fernandes. He can have 1 goal, 1 assist, but that isn't because he's playing good football. He's selfish.
His utilization rate is off the chain. This guy gets the ball constantly, and then he loses it constantly. It's constant. What we talked about in that game, sure, Man City was running the game for most of the sure. But the times where Manchester United had possession, looked good, is when they were transitioning from defending to attack with Sancho. Sancho picking up the ball, Sancho holding the ball, Sancho making the right decision, Sancho caring about possession. Every time it went to Bruno during the transition from defending to attack, he loses the ball. He kicks it out of play. He tries to do some fancy pass. He tries to do some run. He doesn't give a damn about possession.
So let me ask you this. Do you think Ten Hag believes in Sancho? I'm starting to question it now.
Yeah.
Because, just like you said, I saw it, you saw it. The dude knows how to control the game. And when the offense runs through him, it looks really, really good.
Yep.
But a lot of time, he gets the ball about 2 times, and then they say, nah, we're going somewhere else. And they kind of go to Bruno. He's not the guy. And
we saw the fact that Sancho gets subbed every game. Can Sancho not play 90 minutes? Is Sancho, like, out of shape? Genuine question.
No. I'm curious, too, because it's been too constant now where he's getting subbed, the 70th minute, 75th minute. For what? He's not playing bad.
He was the best player on the team. And let's talk about the other best player on the team, Antony.
Oh, yes.
Goal. Yes. Wondrous goal. As a Man City fan, all I could do was clap. I know initially you said, well, Ederson's got to do better. You watch that replay, that ball.
Nothing you can do about it, right?
Nothing you can do about it. There's very few goalkeepers that I can think of. I don't think there's any goalkeeper in the world that's saving that. Beautiful finish. Completely unexpected, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but we see, that's why we got him. And, I posed a question to you. I was like, what does he do when he's not affecting the game?
Yep.
But credit to him, he can create something we need.
Yeah, he doesn't need help to do what he does.
Yep.
And we saw that. It's a moment of magic. But also, he had just a good game in general from that second half.
Oh, he did.
Moving the ball well, running well, worked with Dallo a couple times. That's the positive that you could. You look Martial's goals, you look at Antony's overall performance, and you like that. Those are the positives for today.
Facts. I agree. I'm glad you brought up Dallo, though. The yellow card at the beginning of the game definitely changed things.
100%.
I don't want to be, that guy, but he couldn't be as aggressive. And then when you got, Foden coming at you.
Grealish as well.
It's tough.
It's 100%. And, again, as a Man City fan, we saw the yellow card. We're like, that's not a yellow. Terrible decision from the referee. And you saw Dallo changed up his game. Played completely passive.
Passive, exactly.
And
wasn't really involved in the offense that much.
No.
Which I think something we needed definitely, because Dallo's just been immense for us.
Yep.
The last few games, creating the crosses coming into the the middle.
Very unfortunate game for you guys. If you look at it, Dallo yellow card early, Malacia yellow card early, Varane injured. Tough game for you guys.
You, on the other hand,
easy game for us.
That trio, I'm watching it. I mean, I knew Haaland was going to score.
Yeah.
Hat trick. I knew Foden was going to ball out. Hat trick. I mean, I knew KD was going to kill the game, but he wasn't like, I didn't see one bad play from KDB at all that game.
Not one bad play.
Not one bad play. That to me is scary, bro. City is on a different level. This trio, I'm going to say it. This trio right here. And it's not really the trio that we're thinking of, when they had like a Bale, Benzema, Ronaldo, all forwards, You got 2 forwards and a midfielder.
Yeah.
But I truly believe they can do some special things, bro.
Yeah. That is a championship-built trio. A Champions League-built trio.
That's all they need. They need a Champions League.
Well, name a better trio in the world.
Right now?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Mbappe, Messi, Neymar.
No chance.
I mean, bro, listen to me. I am on the same page as you. I don't believe in PSG, but numbers are numbers. All 3 of them have been balling this season.
In what league? Okay. So here's the thing with PSG. Here's the thing with PSG.
Yeah.
And as good as they could be, and I've heard Neymar goals and assist record has been nuts this season.
Yep.
There's no weight behind it. There's no substance behind it because the league is the league. Their season is completely built off of what they do in the Champions League. If PSG aren't, it's much like the Belgium conversation we had. I have no faith in PSG in the Champions League whatsoever, regardless of how they're playing.
Wow.
Yeah. So with that said, bro,
why is that? Why is that? When you have arguably the greatest player of all time,
because we've seen them in the Champions League, bro. They do not work. You know, you're not playing the farmers anymore, bro. You're playing elite players. You're playing elite managers. You're playing with players that run. Kevin De Bruyne runs more than any other player on the team.
Facts.
Potentially in the world in the midfield. And he's also the best player. He's also the most skilled. He's also the most talented. Versus Messi, Mbappe, Neymar, they're passengers a lot of the times, bro. Especially in those games when they don't get the possession the entire game.
So
you know?
I'll say this. I think what separates, the City trio from the PSG trio is simply
work rate.
I mean, yes, that, but I think the bigger picture is one trio is selfish and the other isn't.
Yeah, that's also true.
And that speaks volumes because watching PSG, you clearly see that Mbappe wants goals.
Yep.
That's all he's about. And not saying that Haaland isn't, but he's also not afraid to play the humble card.
Yeah.
Foden, you get yours too.
He gave Foden the man of the match.
Exactly.
He gave it to him.
That's gonna bite PSG in the ass.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They're not a team.
Yeah.
They're all overpaid. They all think they're better than they actually are. And here's the thing. When you're playing at such a low level all season, and then you go up against a strong Premier League team, a strong Spanish team,
yeah,
you're going to be in trouble. You're not used to it. We're used to it week in, week out, even against the bad teams. Bro, we're playing Brentford, we're playing Brighton, we're playing Crystal Palace. These are tough games. We're playing Newcastle.
Yeah.
Who are they playing, bro? I'm just saying, like, if we don't win the Champions League this season, it's a disappointment. I don't care what anyone says.
No. I mean, that's
after this game. Yeah,
that's what's gonna be basically what how I'm gonna phrase this, because if you guys win the Premier League title, that is a success. You right?
Of course,
right. But we all know that. You guys been doing that the last 5 years. 4 years. It's a Champions League. It's unfortunate, bro, because I don't want to say Haaland gets 35 goals, 40 goals in the Premier League,
45 goals, 50 goals, 60 goals.
Let's talk about that right now. We'll get back to that point, but how many goals is he getting? Because he's just getting hat tricks out the ass right now.
Yeah, he's got 14 in 8 games. It's just so crazy to think about.
He has to slow down though, right?
He times that by 4, bro. That's 4. That's 40. That's 16. That's 56 goals.
Bro,
times that by 4. That's 56 goals.
Look, the guy has to slow down. I'm sorry. He's on a crazy run right now, but there's no way he's getting 50 goals. I can see 40 maybe.
Can I be honest here? Can I be honest? If he gets 20 goals within the next 4 games, meaning like he's at 14, he then goes and gets 6 more.
Yeah.
In the next 4 games, it's a lock he's getting 40 goals. It's a lock because he's halfway there, and that'll be 12 games played. Isn't that nuts?
Oh, it's crazy.
That's less than a third of the season, and he's got half of the way there. He's going to get 40 goals if he gets, again, 20 by game 16. 100%. Or game 16.
Does he have when it's all said and done, will he be a better player than Zlatan?
Overall, it's interesting because they have very similar international situations, right? Playing for Norway, playing for Sweden. These aren't prolific teams. Holland's not even in the World Cup this year. So maybe you can look at it from that aspect, being tall, being center forward, having some skill. Zlatan's probably a little more skillful on the ball.
I agree.
But yeah, bro, he can have the best. Haaland can go down as one of the best players of all time. There's no question. I mean, skip what he's done for City. We saw what he did for for Dortmund.
Right, exactly.
We saw what he did at Salzburg.
Yep.
We've seen what his record in the Champions League.
He gets goals.
And now we see what he's doing. And by the way, he's not just getting goals because Nunes got goals last season for Benfica. But the way he's getting them, how easy it is for him to get them. He knows how to play to his strengths, bro. And it's just so easy for him to get these goals. I think even if Kevin De Bruyne was not in this team, he would still be getting not just as many, but still a significant amount.
That's why I disagree. I think he obviously he'd be scoring goals, but it would not be to this extent.
I agree. Yeah.
You know, I'll put him at, if KDB wasn't on this team right now, he'd probably have maybe 4 or 5 goals. Sitting right there with Harry Kane.
No.
No, listen to me.
After 8 games,
dude,
I think he'd have minimum 8 goals.
A lot of those goals
or KDB.
Yes, just like today, bro.
Yeah.
The goal where he crossed it in
for Foden
to the far left, and then Haaland came in. De Gea, missed it. That's all KDB.
That's all KDB.
And it's been a couple.
That's
of those.
90. Let's give some credit. That's 90% KDB.
Yeah, and then 10% Haaland because Sterling's not finishing that.
Sterling's not finishing.
You know, so like I definitely see what you're saying, but I think KDB has just been that great, bro.
Best player on our team for sure.
He's the best player in the world, bro. I'm gonna say it again. I gotta say it. He is the best player in the world. He does everything you want your player to do. He runs. He creates. Honest effort. Great leader.
Yeah. Everything.
You can't ask for anything else. Like,
bro, he didn't score today, and he's arguably man of the match. Arguably.
Had Fred looking crazy.
Bro, he destroyed Fred.
Destroyed Fred.
What was that for? That was for the Foden goal.
Yeah. Yep.
Haaland. Yeah, to Haaland, then to Foden. Yeah.
Yep.
So
I mean, yeah, your trio, bro. Amazing.
Yep.
Kind of just killed my whole derby. You know, I was expecting.
Yeah.
A back and forth game. Hopefully, we saw a second half, I guess, but first half we just didn't have it. And I think that's weren't prepared. Ten Hag came out with some very questionable, decisions. He just wasn't able to really compete with Pep. Pep put a masterclass on.
But it's also, I mean, let's talk about it real quick. The Man U fans that left after, I think 4-0, just before halftime.
Yeah. Yep.
While you can understand it to some degree, you have to also think about how ignorant you are as a Man U fan after this good stretch of games, right? You thought you could compete with Manchester City. You thought it was a given that you were going to compete with Manchester City after 5 good games.
Fool's gold.
It's ridiculous.
But to cut them some slack, we haven't played in how long?
Yeah, so, that's a good point.
You brought it up earlier, before the podcast. Is it realistic to come into a game against City after weeks off
and expect some people are saying expect to win the game away? Like what?
The best team in the world, arguably. That's a hard task. So I don't know. I don't know what the fans were expecting really. I get it. 4-0 first half. The shit hurts. Kind of felt like a repeat of Liverpool killing us, right? But it's also like it's the City we're playing, bro.
And it's a team where, like, again, you guys have no answer for Haaland. So it's like
they thought Martinez was going to do it.
They thought Martinez and Varane could do it. Varane gets injured. There's no chance.
And Martinez wasn't bad. He wasn't bad that game.
Martinez had a good game.
He had a good game. And I kind of felt bad for him because I think he was one of the few players besides Anthony as well.
Yeah.
They were really focused. They were in the game.
100%.
Pressing.
I mean, it's just a really weird situation overall for you guys. I think you guys are only a couple pieces away though. Let's not kid ourselves. While the 6-3 scoreline is crazy and looks pretty close, you guys weren't really close, but you guys had so many good moments. So many good moments. So many good 15, 20-second pieces of possession that maybe led to a goal or led to a chance. Or you guys are close.
I'm just confused, though, because we're close, right?
I think the scoreline is so almost irrelevant, bro.
Okay, so is it kind of like looking at the Arsenal versus United game? Same
What?
type of thing. So Arsenal, they lost to us, obviously,
Yeah.
but the scoreline didn't really tell.
It didn't tell. It didn't tell the story.
Right.
Again, you guys weren't really close, but it's not like. What I'm basically saying is you guys shouldn't look at this as like, oh my God, we lost 6-3. Oh my God, we were losing 4-0 at halftime. You guys should be looking at it like, wow, we had some really great moments. Wow, we scored 3 goals against one of the best teams in the world. You know, like you guys should be taking positives from this game, not negatives.
I mean, we definitely should, but also at the same time, there's a reason why we lost 6-3.
Yeah.
And it's right in front of us. It's right there.
Well, let's just name them. Varane gets injured. Dallo gets a yellow in the first minute. Malacia gets a yellow in the first 25 minutes. You're playing an injured Rashford up front. You're playing a headless chicken in Fernandez. You're playing a non-CDM in a CDM position.
Right. So that's my point right there. That's the one I'm going to. 6-3. CDM. You're there to stop something like that.
And this is what, and they'll put it on the defenders. They will put it on Lisandro Martinez. Oh my God, they gave up 6 goals. But they will not say anything about Scott McTominay. He's the reason that line is so vulnerable. He's the reason.
Yeah, when you have the midfield running at you as a defender and your CDM isn't in a position to stop that, what do you think is going to happen? And it's that simple.
It'll be interesting to see how many goals. I think once Casemiro came on, I think we only scored 1 goal.
Yeah, because you saw, bro. It's crazy. Like, the dude is just so intelligent. Like, he's out there giving probably 70%, 80% effort, bro.
He's not giving a lot of effort, yeah.
Dude, there's I think one play where we were both watching it. I think he shot the ball.
Yeah, he's like,
that's right.
No. It was a cross. You tried to pass the ball. It was a terrible pass. He looks at like, I don't know, maybe Ronaldo on the bench. He's like, he's like, I don't really care that much.
Yeah, like, come on, bro. Like, he doesn't care, but
I won the Champions League a couple months ago. I don't really, care.
He doesn't care. But man, I don't know. You just saw when he came on the pitch, second half. The team just looked a little bit more composed.
A little bit more. There was a real formation,
right?
You know,
with
Casemiro on the team. But let's end this podcast talking about, I guess your predicted top 6 going forward. I know we do this every once in a while.
But yeah.
But things change. We're 8 games in. We had a really, really good weekend of games.
Facts.
Talk to me about your top 6 at this point in terms of end of the season. These teams will end up here.
All right. Obviously,
going from bottom to top.
Oh, bottom. Okay, got you.
I'm going from top to bottom. It's a little more interesting.
Yeah. City, obviously. Arsenal. Tottenham. Us. And this is where it gets tricky. I got Liverpool still making top 6.
Yeah, 100%.
My last one.
No Chelsea?
Nah, I don't have Chelsea making it.
Chelsea are not going to be in the top 6, is what you're saying.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not?
I don't see it.
Wow.
I got Brighton.
They just lost their manager.
They're going to do it.
I said Brighton, but I don't believe that anymore.
No?
No, they just lost Graham Potter. No. I mean, I agree with your top 4. I have a funny feeling that Ten Hag's going to get it done. I really do. I actually see Chelsea 5th, Liverpool 6th. I think Liverpool going to struggle more than Chelsea.
Nah, bro. Nah. They won't. When you have still the nucleus of your team, they're going to figure it out.
How long though?
They're going to figure it out.
How long until they figure it out? How long do we give them?
Bro, this is what Klopp does. It's a long game for them. They will wear you down. Listen.
Stop pretending like you actually think that they're going to...
Listen. We're talking about Liverpool right now, right? 3-3. They got a point. They didn't lose. They got a point. This is what Klopp does, bro. If they're not losing games, they're getting points.
That's true. That's a good point. I mean, you saw the Newcastle game. They were tied. A magical 6 minutes of extra time, and they get the goal to win. Okay.
So you see what I'm saying? Like, eventually, they're going to start winning games.
Yeah.
They need a run in, and when that happens, they're gonna fall somewhere.
They're going to be competing for top 4.
Yes,
That's what you're saying.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
I don't see Chelsea doing that, bro. I just don't have any faith in them.
I think Chelsea's team is too talented to lose. I mean, at the same time, it's tough, bro.
Let me.
You're making good points about Liverpool.
Let me run through that top 6 again.
Yeah.
City, Arsenal, and this is no order right now.
Let's put it in order. Let's try and put it in order.
City's probably gonna win.
Yep.
Arsenal too. I can see it. I got us over Tottenham.
Wow.
I'm doing it. I don't.
That's crazy.
I don't believe them. Tottenham 4.
Okay.
Liverpool 5th. That's 6th one, bro.
And you're saying Brighton or Chelsea, Newcastle maybe? Those are the teams that are going to be competing, right?
Yeah. You think Newcastle maybe sneaks in?
No, not this season.
Not ready yet. That 6th one's a toss up, bro.
Really? I think Chelsea get it comfortably. I think this top 6 is established at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the Brighton was interesting, but without Graham Potter, no.
Where they at right now? Go to the standings. I want to see.
Oh, they're chilling. They're chilling.
Yeah, they're still pretty decent, right?
Yeah, they're in a good spot. I don't think it's going to last, though, bro.
Let's see.
Brighton are in 4th.
They're 4th right now.
Yeah. Still have a game at hand as well.
So we got, Liverpool, Brentford.
Chelsea's a point behind. Manchester 2 points. Newcastle are up there in 7th. I think Liverpool's going to struggle, bro.
Everton is making some moves up.
Frank Lampard, most underrated manager in the league, most hated manager in the league.
Yep.
My opinion.
Where's West Ham at?
They're on the come up. They're on the come up. 15th.
Yeah. So not gonna get relegated.
No, not gonna get relegated. No, it's good stuff though, bro. I mean, this Arsenal situation is weird because I hate Tottenham, so I was actually really happy that Arsenal won.
Yeah.
From that perspective, but in terms of points, are they going to challenge us? Is the question.
I hope they do. At this point, we just saw that we're not on City's level.
Yeah.
Like, we still have some pieces we got to get.
We have to play Tottenham. We have to play Arsenal. We have to play Liverpool.
Well, I'm waiting on the Arsenal game. That's going to tell me a lot right there. If they lose 2-1, 3-2, they're going to be right there with you in the standings.
No,
100%.
I don't believe that. I think if they win, they have an opportunity. I think if we beat them, I think it's done. And I don't mean like in terms of like, okay, they can't get a lot of points.
Yeah.
I just mean like
mentally.
We're just gonna establish that we're better than you guys, bro.
Your little brother still.
One more season, We give you a couple players and you get a little cocky. We give you some tempo, we give you Jesus, you get a little cocky.
It is like the big brother, little brother situation.
It is.
Arteta, Pep.
No, 100%. I mean, this used to be the opposite. I was thinking about it, bro. A few years ago, we've always had a good relationship with Arsenal. They gave us Clichy, they gave us Nasri, they gave us Adebayor. Thank you. We needed those players during that time, but now we're giving you our leftovers. So
it's flipped, right?
It's flipped. Yeah, we give you a leftover manager, leftover players. Just understand. Good season so far.
Yeah,
it's a long season.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, bro. I'm hoping something happens in the season where City isn't clearly the favorite to win.
Yeah,
I want to see something exciting, and hopefully Arsenal is that team. I thought it was going to be United, but we're just not there yet, man. And pump my brakes. I was going in thinking, with a healthy squad, we would probably win this game.
A little crazy.
Yeah,
a little crazy.
Yeah. We just gotta. This January transfer market for us is huge.
I agree.
What is Ten Hag's next big pickup?
Yep.
Who's leaving? Because we're still a couple pieces away. Part of me wants to say and believe that Frankie will come possibly if we get a top 4 clinch a Champions League berth.
So for next season.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So that's what's going to play a huge part. 'Cause I think there's still some dialogue, some trust between him and Ten Hag.
Maybe, yeah.
And considering the way that Barcelona has treated him, if we get a Champions League berth, why wouldn't you come to United?
That would definitely be a talking point. And I think maybe Ten Hag has had some of those conversations like, yo, okay, you want to stay in Barcelona? No problem. But maybe next season, maybe that's interesting.
Yeah.
But I think Ten Hag, yeah, he needs January. He needs another summer transfer window as well.
Yeah.
And we'll see. But yeah, next up is Champions League, Europa League. So we'll be back on Friday for that.
Yes, sir.
All right. So with that, great watch along. Some of these clips we've already, if you're seeing this now, we've already put out on YouTube and Instagram. And you can follow us on all the platforms at The Best of Rivals or at The Best of Rivals Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. Yeah, a great watch along, great first watch along that we've done.
I mean, it was great for you, bro. Like, stop it.
Bro,
I enjoyed the game.
of course, we
goals, but
bro,
my team lost.
It was
man.
a great. That has to be one of the best games of the season. No, I'm not even being biased.
I can't really say that a 6-3 game is one of the best games of the season. If you like scoring goals, I
like most
suppose.
entertaining games. If you're a neutral, bro, you'd love that game. We saw some, bro. Anthony's goal was nuts.
I thought Foden's goal was better.
Foden's goal was nuts as
The
well.
no look.
Yeah.
You said Anthony's goal was goal of the year, possibly. I think Foden's probably goal of the year. That no look was nasty.
Should we switch jerseys?
Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious. All right, though, bro. With that, from myself, from Jay, winner, loser. This is what the Best of Rivals is all about.
Wait. What club has more titles, though?
And we are out.